Why can China become an economic power? After the Second World War, European countries were undergoing major destruction, and needed to be rebuilt. As the United States was after the Atlantic, the distance meant that it did not suffer destruction. With this, their industries could manufacture materials and products to be exported to Europe, making the United States leverage itself as a great economic country. In capitalism, the one who needs becomes servile to what he produces. In capitalism, industries, health, energy, food and others are privately owned, which generate income for the population that produces for private initiative. Both the people and the private initiative pay taxes, and with these taxes the state controls the system. But with an epidemic that harms the population at work, capitalism loses its meaning, since workers do not generate capital to hand over to the private system, and that capital is granted by the state that withdraws it from its reserves. Since there is profit in capitalism, then the trade balance destabilizes, and companies not linked to the state break down and the economy falls apart. Thus, in a capitalist system the government is not able to take care of the population using capitalist rules. In this way, some countries not to lose capital to the private system to the point of losing power, that country breaks the capitalist rule and determines to control some private systems. At this point the capitalist rule is violated, and the political system is the total control of the system, whether human or private property. And so it acquires power to control calamity. But this rule is the basis of communism. Thus, a capitalist system to overcome a calamity is directed to the communist system to solve the population's problems. Between a capitalist system and a communist system in a calamity state, the communist system is already in the state that capitalism would have to adapt to the calamity, and so between the two countries, the favorable balance tends towards the communist country. In fact, between two capitalist countries, whichever suits the communist trend more quickly in a calamity, the balance of trade will be favorable because it will be able to control the calamity more quickly. In fact, we have to keep in mind that the government that is addressing communist rules must have the intelligence to manage its power correctly. Since power is concentrated in a state, which can worsen the country in case of government power without intelligence. China being a country with communist principles of state power, in the event of disasters it can manage powers to reduce losses, as it has the power to shape everything in the country without any resistance from private initiative. Thus, by controlling the catastrophe more quickly, it can generate products to sell to other countries that try to adjust their systems to communist concepts, to obtain powers against the catastrophe. In this way, China can become a great capitalist economic power, not being a capitalist country in its state. In fact, all countries can be seen as a symbol of yin-yang, in which each is separated between capitalism and communism. All countries, when communist, have a capitalist share, which increases or decreases according to need. And a capitalist country also has a communist share, which grows or decreases according to need. In fact, the United States has laws that, in the event of a cataclysm, it can quickly expand its transformation into communist rules. But the delay and fear of this transformation has made China take the lead, and have a favorable trade balance, while the United States is still experiencing growth in deaths and contagion. The longer the capitalist countries remain in the cataclysm, the more China will have an economic vanguard and the more it will strengthen as an economic power.
If you are looking for more content from different areas, visit the reformadorstacad.com website. News and detailed content can be found. With system of research and organization of text and video.